So, if someone dies normally, when someone dies normally, most of us do, I guess. I mean, if it's like you lay down, you go to sleep, and you wake up on the other side type of thing.
Okay.
Okay. Is that different from, say, a car crash or something sudden?
Yes.
How is that different?
Generally, when you're getting ready to die, like I've told you before, you will have visitors of both the physical kind and those that are spirits. And all we are, and I've said this so many times, and you've heard me say this, Cathy, but all we are is a spirit in physical clothing. We're a ghost in human clothing, is what I call it. So when we're getting ready and we're still here, generally, to try to make whoever's here after us feel better. So we're generally, it's laying there or whatever you're doing. If you're out of it, then you're just being there until the people that are in the room that are physical can turn you loose. Because we don't want to hurt y'all. None of us do, you know. And we're thinking about that, and we're thinking, and when we love somebody and they call out to us and have that voice of, please don't, please don't. That's why so many nurses have said, tell people, you go home now and get some rest. And then you go home, 2 hours later your loved one dies. Because you got out of the way so they could do what they needed to do. That happens so often. But what they're doing is, they have people that will gather around and they usually see them a little bit out of the way, like maybe outside the room, and they'll watch them. My daddy talked to me about my uncle once, and I told him, I said, Daddy, he's seeing people outside his room right now that he knew when they were alive. And he said, yeah, Juana, that's what he called me, you know that. He said, he is. And I said, they've not been allowed to come in the room yet. And he said, they're outside the door because he mentioned it. And I said, when he allows them to come in the doors, when he's going, Daddy. And that's what we do. We tell that person that's on the other side who loves us too. And it could be that you want Jesus to come. Jesus will come. Or it could be because they're there to make your crossing over easier. Mm-hmm. So, like my daddy, his son, and that's what he told me the month before he died, because I knew it would be a month to the day of his birthday. He told me, he said, I'm ready to go home, Juana. And I said, I know that, Daddy. He said, do you understand what I'm saying? And I said, yes, sir, I do. Do you? And he said, yeah, I do. He said, I'm wanting to see my best friend. He said, you know who that is? That's your brother. Well, my brother had died 2 or 3 years prior to that.
I remember that.
Yeah, and I said, yes, sir, I do. I understand it. Well, my brother and his daddy, my daddy's daddy, came to see him and came to escort him over. So it was not a painful, scary kind of thing. He had the initial pain, but then he was able to cross over in peace. And that is a peaceful thing, especially. But now when my daughter called him back, he came back to her for just a moment, you know that. And I give you the stories of the people that I love because it's easier to tell you that and let you understand from that point of view. Because it's not always the way I say things sometimes. I hope that they can be understood.
I understand most of what you say, not all. But most
because I'm weird.
Most of it I do, though. No, you're not weird. It's very interesting to see how natural a thing this is.
It's just like birth. And I think, like I mentioned before, there's a little bit of pain in birth too. I mean, the mama gets it and the baby gets it. People standing around go, oh joy, oh joy, oh joy. And mama and baby are going, oh my God, this hurts. And it's kind of like that in death, because the person that's dying on their deathbed looks at the people that they love who are physically around them.
Yeah.
And they hurt for those people.